Welcome to the PSR YouTube channel. Hey, I love YouTube. YouTube's awesome. It's awesome. You should become a YouTube creator. Totally. This video will get monetized. Yes.
Whoa, yeah. We're having lots of family fun now. Whoa, yeah. None of these are real guns now. Whoa, yeah. Also got a Patreon, the link is in description. Got some merch too, yeah, you know you wanna get some.
Thank you for being patient. I think we've stroked the algorithm enough for today. The video starts in 3, 2, 1.
Want to go, I want to go, I want to go outside, have some fun outside. They won't see me outside. When I creep up on them, they won't see it coming. They don't even know that I pack a pole.
Hi, Lucas.
Look at me, I am flying, can't you see? On a cloud, making loud, up, away.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of PSR, formerly known as Print Shoot Repeat. PSR, that's what it stands for if you didn't know. And today we have something printed on the channel. A lot of things printed on the channel here. These are not baby carrots, actually. They are 3D printed bullets and 3D printed casings. This is 3D printed ammo, guys. That's a 45 ACP 3D printed PLA. And it is pretty sweet. So we're gonna shoot this and see what it does. See if it's lethal or not. And I'm gonna talk about the project. But first I gotta thank the channel sponsor for PSR, and that is Aves Engineering. Guys, if you like DIY projects like me, you're gonna love Aves because I got every kind of rail you can imagine. The only place you wanna get railed is Aves, because that's a good kind of rail. The other kind of rail, maybe not. They got a bunch of Mac parts too. I would never in a million years use the code PSR for 10% off your entire order from Aves Rails. And thank you again to Aves for sponsoring this channel. So we got our 45 ACP and our 9mm 3D printed ammo. If you can guess, these will not cycle the slide on a pistol or any kind of gun. They are not nearly the amount of kinetic energy. I don't know what the grain of the projectile is. So the case is 3D printed and then the projectile is placed in there. This is a project by CA3D2A. If you guys want to know more about the project, go look him up. I got approached by a guy at a party at SHOT Show last year. SHOT Show, I think, just happened if you're watching this video. He said he had a brother who is a big fan of mine and he wanted me to chat with him. So I talked to him. He explained that he's from California and that he was really into 3D printed guns. And he actually had done a couple guns that were legal in California back when it was legal to 3D print them and put the serial number and everything on them. And he just said that he was really inspired by my channel. So I thought that was awesome. And he's like, I have something to give you. And so he gave me these 2 bags of 3D printed rounds to test with. He said he actually put them and shot them with ballistic gel, and he said he thinks that they're lethal at a certain range. So we're gonna try that and test it. I just think it's really cool that you can even 3D print something that can actually exit the barrel, completely 3D printed. Obviously we've got the primer in there. We'll talk a little bit about that, but it's really, really neat. Now, before we get into shooting these things, I gotta thank today's video sponsor, and that is none other than AdamandEve.com. So Adam and Eve sent me some stuff. This is a nice heart-shaped shooting rest. You could use it for that. They also sent some of these nice targets for us to shoot. And of course, we have to have ballistic gel on the channel, as always, when we have an Adam and Eve sponsored video. And we've got our giant ballistic horsecock here, the Great American Challenge. We're gonna use this as ballistic gel, as well as some of these melons here, of course. Guys, you can get 50% off your first item, plus free shipping and rush processing in the US and Canada from AdamandEve.com with the code PSR. They make a bunch of great tactical accessories for all of your intimate needs, and they offer 24/7 customer support as well as discreet packaging, and that's very important if you're gonna get a ballistic gel horsecock like this. So if you're looking to get that special someone in your life something for Valentine's Day, look no further and definitely use that code. And thank you again to AdamandEve.com for sponsoring this video. So back to the 3D printed ammo. So obviously I'm aware it's not extremely practical, but if you're in a place where you cannot get ammo or you don't want anyone to find out that you're getting ammo, which is just okay, it's just privacy, guys. Privacy is not a crime. Then printing ammo is an option. These are printed casings and printed projectiles, and they do have primers on the back. So you would need to get primers, obviously, in this project. We're gonna try the 45 ammo in this Big Mac. Not nearly enough power to cycle the bolt, so it's really just kind of like a bolt action situation. But we're gonna see how this thing does, and we're gonna see how it does against some of our targets and our ballistic gel to see if it's actually something that would be lethal. And I'm not sure exactly what powder he used, but that'll all be in the README. Give her shit. Oh yeah. 9mm ammo, we're gonna use the PSA micro dagger and test that out. And it's a short enough barrel that I don't think we'll get a squib load in it, but we'll see. And this is all just experimental stuff, guys. It's just really cool that you can 3D print anything that will actually go out of the barrel as a projectile. But we'll see if we get any keyholing or anything like that. We got some paper we're gonna test as well. So we can start by shooting paper, and then we'll move to our more dense, solid objects like our giant ballistic horsecock and these wonderful shapely melons we have. Let's do it. Here we go with the PSA and micro dagger and our 3D printed rounds in the OEM magazine with this extension here. We just put 5 in there. I'm gonna just try one shot, see if we get any keyholing. My guess would be yes, since it's not really stabilized, but we'll try it out. I think the recoil is gonna be pretty light on this. About 5 yards away. Gonna go for the center. 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness. And you gotta rack it out. Let's get the casing out. Okay, we got part of the casing flew out. Not the full case there. So I'm gonna check to make sure we don't have anything in a barrel, but let's take a look here. So we got penetration, obviously into the paper, we got penetration through the cardboard. So that's a good sign. Let's check the barrel, make sure we don't have anything in there. Yep, barrel's clear. So we don't have a squib load or anything. You know, having like a squib load with a plastic ammo would probably, at the end of the day, it's not gonna do any damage to the barrel, I don't think. If it was a real projectile and a squib load, it would. Guys, I want to give a quick shout out to Moonlight Industries who made this custom rig for me with a beautiful, I mean, this is perfect for your big sticks. So, shouts out to Moonlight Industries. You can get 10% off your order from Moonlight with the code PSR. We're gonna go Luigi style and just keep racking her. Let's see if we can get her on target here. Rack it out. Nice. Oh, the projectile kind of got caught up on the piece of our previous case. So as you can imagine, with PLA casings, you know, they tend to melt a little bit and deform a little bit more than brass or steel. Nice. But as you can see here, this is our 4-shot group here. Not the greatest group, but this is plastic ammo and plastic projectiles. So not bad. I really want to see how it does against something like our ballistic horsecock, just to see if it penetrates the ballistic gel, and we'll go kind of close range for that. So let's try it out. Here we got our Great American Challenge is what we're using for our ballistic gel today. We're gonna go for the base ball area here. And this is like 3 yards, but I want to make sure I'm accurate, so let's do it. Here we go. And 3, 2, 1. Ooh, had some shift, it knocked it over. Let's check it out. We got penetration, and there is the round right there. A piece of the casing kind of came out the barrel there. There's our round. The tip of this probably got ½ an inch in there, I would say. Now I kind of want to try point blank just to see if we get any different penetration. 3, 2, 1. A cleaner entry, I would say. Oh yeah, check this out. So there's our travel. I don't know if you can see this. Gotta wipe her off a little bit. Kind of sticky. So there you guys, you can see that's about 2 inches, 3 inches of penetration at the close, you know, point blank range. Definitely more penetration when you're closer, which is fascinating. So you can see the entry. I can't get that bullet out of there. That's in there now, unless I use a knife. So definitely interesting to see the 9mm go further at a closer distance. I want to try the 45 now and see how the 45 does. All right, that fed, so that's a good sign. All right, I'm gonna try to be as accurate as I can with this Mac. I'm gonna go down on my knee here and get it. 3, 2, 1. All right, nice. Similar story here as to where the 9mm, we shot it back a little bit further, so we just got the projectiles just barely made any kind of penetration there. So that definitely would not be fatal, I don't think, at that distance. So you can see there, it's just very minimal. Let's try it at close range. 3, 2, 1. All right. Interesting. So it looks like we penetrated maybe an inch on this one. The increased velocity of the 9mm, that's what was able to penetrate a little bit deeper at close range. So that's interesting. And this is like a 5.5, 6 inch barrel. Well, I guess it's about 2 inches there. This is like a piece of art here. So that's our 45. I would say about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. And then our 9mm got about 3 inches. So definitely a bit more with the 9mm in terms of penetration. Now let's try our melons and see if we get any penetration, see if that looks like it could be fatal, because at that distance, honestly, I think it's like pretty realistic. I would hope that this is realistic. Yeah, this seems pretty realistic in terms of the density. It's a plastic projectile. Let's shoot the melons now and see what we get for results on those. It's fun to do. Fruity stuff sometimes. Point blank range. 3, 2, 1. Oh, wow. Well, that's an interesting cavity there. Oh, wow, we had exit. It went through fully went through the melon. You're gonna have to get that in slow motion. Wow. All right, let's try the 45 in another melon. All right, 3, 2, 1. Ooh, I got a little spray there. Interesting. So there's our exit and there's our entry, but it was not nearly as violent, it seemed, with the 45. That's very interesting. And we'll have to capture the 9 in slow motion. So let's do another melon shot, but we'll get it in slow motion, 180 frames a second. Not super slow, but you'll be able to see a little bit more of the detail of it entering and exiting. So it's interesting, we didn't get a full penetration on the melon on our first shot, which is interesting. Maybe it's just this melon is just a tad bigger. Maybe the amount of powder in that one projectile wasn't the same, but I say we try it again, super slow motion. We'll try shooting the same melon again, see if we get penetration. Well, after 2 shots, we did not get full penetration. That's interesting. This might just be an extra, dense melon, and we did have a little bit of a splitting of the melon, but I say we do one more. We'll use the other smaller melon that we've already shot, but we'll angle it and we'll try it and see if we can get a full penetration all the way through on that one. All right, on our third melon that had already been shot, we did get penetration just now, and you saw that in 180 frames per second. It might just be that this is a smaller melon, and that is all it took for it to actually go fully through. So, interesting results. Definitely fascinating. Adam and Eve sent me this sweet shooting rest, and you can just put that gun right in the middle here. You got a nice stable shot, and it actually is a suction device, so it stays nice and still for you. So we're going to use this, and we're going to shoot our ballistic horsecock one more time by putting it up here and seeing if we get penetration through a little bit thinner part of our Great American Challenge ballistic horsecock. 3, 2, 1. Oh, clean. Nice. Did we get full penetration? Did we get it fully through? We might have. I think we got an exit. I don't see a projectile in there. So we did go fully through this amount of ballistic gel. It went all the way through it, and it was a very clean entry. Fascinating. Now I'm curious to see if the 45 will do it. 3, 2, 1. Oh, knocked her right off the freaking table. Oh, she's all dirty. All right, so there you can see the projectile did not go through. It is in there, and that's about the penetration we were getting from the 45 all along. But it really interests me that the 9 went all the way through. I mean, it's a couple inches for sure. It's interesting. It's really cool. It is kind of frozen in there. This is modern art, I'd say. Beautiful. So Adam and Eve sent me a fair amount of stuff to do some ballistic testing with. And so we're going to try this here device, and we're going to put it here. And we're just going to see, this is a little bit tougher material. I'm curious if the bullet will just like bounce off of it or not. But we're going to try it at pretty close range here. And I'll just do one round, see what we get. 3, 2, 1. Hi-ya! Did we get penetration? All right, well, I hit her right in the freaking kisser, just right down the middle there. Not a bad shot from like 5 inches away. But I'm curious if it's inside there, because I actually think it's inside there. So I think we should cut this thing open and see if we got a round in there, because I think it is on the end, the other end. We don't have an exit hole. That's a very stretchy material. Okay, there's our projectile. Pop it out. We got about, I'd say that's about an inch of penetration from the base to the tip, and so that's interesting. Definitely a thicker material, I think, than what like let's say human flesh would be. So conclusions about our 3D printed ammo and PLA. This is just a really neat, nifty, cool project. Is it something I would want to use for like self-defense? No. Obviously, it's a much lighter projectile. This weighs almost nothing. Being plastic, you just don't get the stability of the round. When we're a little bit further away, we didn't get nearly the amount of penetration as when we were like almost at point blank. And then we actually did get some, I think, decently impressive penetration. I mean, I wouldn't want to be on the other end of that, certainly, especially at point blank range. Don't know if it's lethal, I would say. I guess at the right range, it probably would in some ways be lethal, depending on where you got hit and whatnot, all of that stuff. But as a project, I just think this is really neat, and it's really cool to see we've gotten to this point where 3D printing ammo, it is coming out the barrel, and it is entering our ballistic gel, and went in and out of our like 3-inch little head there, we'll call it. So that's fascinating. What it did to the melons was interesting too. Seemed like for the bigger melon didn't go through, but with the smaller melon we did go through with our 9mm. Now it would be really interesting, I think, to see if you could develop a 3D printed or a plastic slide that would only be able to shoot this kind of ammo and actually cycle it so it would be semi-auto. I think if you had a lighter slide, it would be okay to have a printed slide with something that had such little energy, because as you saw in the video, there's no recoil at all. It feels like you're shooting even less than a 22. With a light slide and a light spring, maybe you could get it to cycle. Who knows? That's for people to work on in the future. But as far as today goes, I had a lot of fun shooting this 3D printed ammo. Big shout out to CA3D2A. Check him out on the Odyssey, probably could find it. And yeah, this was a lot of fun. And I want to thank again Adam and Eve for sponsoring the video. Certain people don't like it when I use these, over-the-top toys. Almost hit myself in the head there. You know what, guys? I just like to have fun, and if you don't like that, you don't have to watch. It's unique, I think, for a company like Adam and Eve to sponsor a gun channel, and so I think that's pretty cool. That's the 3D printed ammo test. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys want to follow me on Patreon, I got early access to content as well as my music and my songs that I use in the videos. Also, I want to give a big shout out to Cedar Core, who provided the tactical Farwa that I was wearing there and that I disrobed in. He's from Lebanon, hand makes them himself. So definitely give Cedar Core on Instagram a follow and check him out. Really cool dude. Thanks again for watching the episode. I'll see you on the next one. Bye. So you guys can get 50% off your first item, plus free shipping and rush processing in the US and Canada. Again, guys, you can get 50% off your first item and guys, you can get 50% off your entire. Guys, you can get 50% off. Oh, this gunfire is fucking with me. Guys, you can get 50%. Ah, dick.